Welcome to the podcast. Here we will uncover the stories behind the yachting industry.
You can be the person who actually designed the boat, and I did everything in my whole life just to become like a yacht designer. The world is not only black and white. Sometimes, the right thing is in the middle. And then in the end, he said, Giulia, you know what? It looks like home.
What if the most important part of a yacht brief is the part that's never said? Today, on the YACHTLLYWOOD podcast, we sit down with Giulia Grassi, founder of Supernova Design. I'm Sofiana Bergozzi, your host, and now let's dive into the conversation. But first, take a little second and hit the subscribe button. Welcome again to a new episode of YACHTLLYWOOD podcast. And today I'm super happy to be with this incredible woman who is an example yacht designer, and she has an amazing background, an amazing family history, Giulia Grassi.
Hi, it's really a pleasure being here with you and such an honor to tell everyone about my story.
Thank you. We are today at her studio, Supernova Design.
Exactly.
She's the founder, and this beautiful studio is located in Lake Como.
Exactly.
You have done wonderful. It's breathing your essence of design.
Thank you.
And you have so many touches of your family.
Yes, this was the idea behind of this studio. So as you can see here, this was my grandfather hold working table. We took care of it. We take it back from the deposit because it has been abandoned for such a long time. And we thought it was a great piece to have here with us in order for say thank you to him and everything he teach me.
So you grew up in Monaco, but your family is originally from Como, from this region?
So no, actually I grew up in Monaco during the summers, all my childhood I've been there. But my family, the story of my family, it's quite unique because my grandfather was from a small village in the south of Italy in the middle of nowhere, and he decided when he was 18 years old to move abroad to follow the dream, the Italian dream, the American dream actually, because he went to South America without knowing the language, without any money, without anything except his talent. So it was a really talented interior designer, let's say, but at the time was not even an interior designer. He was just able to draw very well.
Okay.
So he started there, and then he met my grandmother. They had two kids, so my mom and my aunt. And at that time he had his own studio, and he worked with many important family in Uruguay. Then what happened, Uruguay started getting so-and-so about the economics, so he decided to move to Beverly Hills, so California, without knowing English at all. So he started everything again with the family, but he got in touch with important people, let's say, of the Hollywood jet set, Elvis Presley, Liberace, wow. Robert Reed. So get into that world, and he was able to design beautiful furniture pieces for them.
That's a big step from Uruguay to Beverly Hills.
Yes, exactly. It was incredible. But at a certain point, he said he was Italian. He always had the Italian passion and feeling inside of him. So he said, okay, I want my kids to grow up in Italy because it's where I came from. So he closed everything again in the US, and he moved here in Lake Como because Lake Como, it's well known because around Lake Como it's full of artisans that are able to create beautiful pieces, which is not quite common in all the other parts of Italy. He came here, and when he came here, he got in touch because of the design week. At the time it was at the beginning, but he got in touch with the Emirates. And he started designing the palace for the Kuwait princess. He met many incredible person during his journey.
What do you think it was his strength? It was more in the design or in the way he will work with people and get to know these personalities? Or just a blend of everything?
It was a blend of everything because his personality was really strong. He always was listening to people, and it's also what he teach me, which it's super important. So to listen them carefully, not just because they're talking to you. You need to understand their needs, even if they're not telling you their needs straight away.
Yeah.
So maybe they're hidden. So maybe they're talking about their family and how they're feeling about, I don't know, the old couch of the grandma, something like that. So starting from that point, you can develop something beautiful for them that is really personal and is not something that everyone could have.
But let's go back to your childhood. So you were spending summers in Monaco.
Exactly.
I guess that's where you got the passion for yachting.
Exactly.
So how did that happen?
So I was with him actually in Fontvieille on the harbor, and we were walking, and I was like amazed about like the beautiful yachts over there. So I was like, Grandpa, oh my God, this is beautiful. I want one. And of course, it was like,
I need to work for
this. It's like, yeah, you know what? It's even cooler. You can be the person who actually designed the boat.
Wow.
And I fell in love like straight away. So I used to come back home, join like these small boats like everywhere, and it became like my passion. And I studied and I did everything in my whole life just to become like a yacht designer. And here we are. So. And
how was your path? Let's say your education, because I know like a lot of people who are listening to this, a lot of them want to know the path to work in yachting.
I started like with my studies in Polytechnic of Milan, and I did like a course in interior design furniture, especially. Okay. Then I did like an specialization also with Polytechnic of Milan, but the base was in La Spezia, because La Spezia is like in a strategy place, because there are a lot of shipyards around in Liguria, and I studied there like for 2 years. After that, I studied like an internship in an interior design studio, and that my career like started, and I became like chief of the yachting department, and step by step I learned the job actually.
Right now, until this moment, you also have gained the experience that your grandfather like spent a whole life to gain, right? With different cultures. I know you're also developing designs for real estate in Dubai and yachting, and you were talking about understanding the client. How does that work to understand the needs of different cultures and kind of translate the wishes of the owner in your designs?
Yeah, so the fact is, as I said, you need to listen to them very carefully, and even more when it's like not your culture, because maybe we have different needs according to where we came from, our story, our heritage and everything. So what I do is like then I translate like their passion, their life routine, or their memories also into my design, listening like carefully what they would like to have, because if it's a boat or if it's a house, it's like the place where they're gonna spend sometimes like by themselves or with the family. So you need to create an environment where they feel comfortable to stay and feel like protected.
Any cues you seek for when you're talking to the owner, like when you're doing the brief? Because I feel like so many people, they cannot express themselves what they want. I think it's an incredible job actually to look at them at the eyes and say, okay, I don't think you really want orange, you want red.
Yes, again, it's like maybe just asking them questions about their daily life, not talking about design anymore, because maybe, as you said, they think they want something because they saw it maybe on a magazine and they thought, oh my God, this is beautiful, but doesn't reflect their personality or their way of living. So maybe asking some random question about, okay, what do you think about that? Where do you like to spend maybe your holidays? You understand more how, like, the kind of people they are, or also if like they have a big family. This is also how you understand how to lay out the space. The needs of a big family is different of maybe the needs of a couple. So, and you need to help them to understand that. It's like, it's our job.
And have you ever had this situation when you have the strong feeling that this should not be like that, but they really, really insist?
Yeah, but at the end it went well. I tell you why. So basically I had this client, he was like super strong on this idea to have like just straight lines, two colors. I see like the world is not only black and white. Sometimes, you know, the right thing is in the middle, but of course the client is the client. So first I listen, as I said. And then it was like, yeah, I want just straight lines. I would like this color because I saw it on a magazine and it looks very elegant and whatever. I say, okay, fine. So I listened super carefully. But then we were out for dinner and he were talking to me about like his childhood, that he spent like his childhood like in the grandma house, was beautiful, super colorful. And I said, okay, well, if you have like these really strong memories and like good memories about it, why you wanted to do something completely different, like without any personality, let's say?
Yeah.
It doesn't represent you, I think. I prepared 2 presentations, one exactly what he asked, and the second one with what I thought could have been like more into like his chords. And at the end, like when I did the presentation, he looked at me, he stayed silent like for 3 seconds, and I was a little bit, I won't say panicking, but I was not sure that it was good or bad. And then in the end, he said, Giulia, you know what? The second proposal that you made, it looks like home. I go for it.
Oh my God.
And I was like, okay, fantastic, good. Oh. So at the end it went very well. And say, because I thought that one was like more for me, because I saw it like, but it's not always like that. I mean, your home is not like a showroom or like a place that you want to put on magazine it's a place where you're gonna live when you grow up, maybe your kids, or like you invited your family over. It's you, it's to represent yourself.
That's the important point, because so many people, they don't understand aesthetics and they just follow the trends.
Exactly.
And at the end, everything looks the same. The tricky part, what is magical actually, is to have this talent, and is not so much of a design talent, but a human talent to guide your owner to get out of the comfort zone.
Exactly.
And do something that really has personality. And what do you think when, let's say, the owner has this yacht that is meant for charter?
Yeah.
So they always say, okay, this yacht is for charter, so we're gonna do it neutral, everybody needs to like it, bright and everything. But then again, you're saying in that comfort zone, it's beautiful. Yes, it's a beautiful design, but how you shake it up a little bit.
Exactly, but you need to blend like the two things actually. So with some tricks as well. So maybe, you stay with neutral color, but you add like that pop out, something that just came out. Maybe you just add decorative cushions that are a little bit funny. So maybe if the family maybe will love it because it's more like in their spirit, and for the charter you change it, you have like another set. Mm-hmm. But usually they always keep like the suggestion that we gave it to them, because it's personal at the same time, but it's that kind of personal that like they understand where is like their personality into it, So there was like a room that can turn like into another guest cabin for like 4 guests to sleep, but it's not something that they use maybe for charters. It's something like privately for them. So there are like small also designing tricks that can be used in order just to give the family their own space and the feelings that they're home. But at the same time, people that charter the boat, they don't feel like they're using the boat or someone else, because they feel free as well to enjoy the space. That's the difficulty also about the job,
of course.
But it's part of it. And
you did a refit of the motor yacht Solafit, right?
Yes.
Can I ask, was this yacht meant for charter as well?
Yes.
So that was a very particular one, right? Because the owner is from a very different culture.
Exactly.
And you mentioned that they had very particular needs because it's a big family.
Exactly.
How did that work?
The client is from a different culture, and I've been so lucky because he invited me over like to his own country to let me understand like their tradition and their needs, because at the beginning they were asking me things that I was unable to understand 100%, let's say, because for us it's different. We don't have the same tradition. So, and it was amazing. So I understood more why they was asking those things. And then we developed like the concept together.
Can you give me examples of those things?
Yeah, they are a big family. And one request was like, I would like to have a really big table to accommodate like all of us. So my kids, my grandkids, and already like the table on Solafit was big, but he wanted something even bigger. So that's why during the process, we changed a little bit the position of the bulkhead between the dining room and the main salon, just to accommodate a bigger table for everyone. I mean, it's important when you can have like dinner with your family and everyone can sit comfortable and you enjoy the moment, you share the stories, instead of maybe just adding like small chairs, be squeezed, like you don't enjoy it anymore. So you lose like the feeling, the moment.
The customization you lose. It's if you need to squeeze.
Oh, exactly. You're not comfortable. And also like we use light colors, but with a touch of dark colors. For example, like in the ceiling, it's all white, but we have like this beautiful brown crown, like all around, that just give you like that touch, So, and then, as I said, like we added maybe like decorative cushions with a touch of orange. The sofa, it's convertible as well. There is a seat, and on the side you will have like the armrest, which is the same level of the seat. But if you turn like that piece around, is a side table. So depending how many people you want to accommodate on the sofa, because if you're a lot, of course, everyone needs to sit on the sofa. So it's just, these kind of things that the owner loved and that we thought about it like together. So it was super inspiring.
Of course. And you say it's a big family. So when there is a big family involved, do you have different members of the family wanting different things?
And super funny. That was great actually, because everyone, I like to treat the project like this as a group project. Many people involved, everyone want to say something, and it's right, because you will enjoy the yacht or the house all together, let's say. So you need to have a voice, and I will listen to you. And most of the time they have something in common, because of course they come from the same family, so the background is the same. Even if they are telling me things in a different way, the meaning at the end is always the same. So having space that we can enjoy in common, but also private spaces, because when we don't want to see each other anymore, I can just go there, take a rest, have peace, and enjoy the journey, which is what happened also in my family. So I totally get it.
Yeah. So again, is that the translation of what is really behind the words of the client?
Exactly, and to accommodate their needs and put everything together, that everything needs to blend, and the result will be beautiful, because it has also a really deep meaning.
And how does that work? Designing for different, for example, when you design for a client in the Middle East, how do you get comfortable with their tastes, with their textures, with their color preferences?
Basically, you try to understand their culture, which is super important. And then I do a really deep research, and I try to blend my background, so of course European, with their background as well. And then we work together as maybe with textures, colors. Say, okay, for me it could work like this or like that. And you give them different options to choose. And at the end, you put all the pieces together, and the final result, it's amazing. Because you are able to blend two different cultures, because there is not always black and white.
Yeah.
The beauty stays in the middle. That's what always my grandfather used to tell me. So just listen, your vision is not always right, and the client challenges you most of the time, which is from this kind of project, it comes out something incredible that you're not even able, you didn't expect it at all by yourself.
Do you have any anecdote of something that you started planning with the brief very clear, but at the end it was completely different?
Yeah, for example, the last project that we did in Dubai, we started with the idea of the client that he wants something really attached to his culture, but almost 100%. But he also said, but you're from Italy, so I would like to have also the Italian touch.
Yeah.
But I need you to do this, and that. It's okay, it's fine. But if I can add my touch, you will see maybe something that you will like even more. It's okay, let's just go for it. I trust you. And if I don't like it, we just go back to my previous request. We never get back to the previous request. Yes, exactly. But it was the blend of the Italian culture, his culture, in another environment, because it was not from there actually, so it was from another country as well. But he fell in love with the style of Dubai. So we put everything together in a certain way that actually when you get inside, you can recognize something from each part of the world, okay? But they blend so well together, there is something completely different.
And I'm curious, when a designer, an interior designer, how do you keep your signature touch with these projects that are so customized and sometimes they tend to be different to your style? Is there something why a client will come to you?
I think, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, then we need to ask my clients, so please free to reach her and tell the opposite.
Some reviews, please.
Exactly. No, but the thing is listening to them, and the fact that they know that no matter what, I will deliver them the best project possible. With and I'm working with really talented artisans here in around Como, of course. So the quality is always the same. I use maybe different materials, or the materials that are coming from maybe their country, but I use them in a different way. So they know that no matter what, They can have like the Italian touch, which like Italy is very well known about, like artisans, how we use the material, but with their personality, their own culture in it. But it's not something that other people could find like anywhere else.
So that's kind of your signature.
Yes, yes.
Made in Italy.
Made in Italy, exactly.
Designed in Italy.
Yeah, made in Italy, but for the world.
Exactly.
So we do the design, and then we work with these amazing people that makes like our design reality. They have like tradition since like it's from father to son to grandson. Wow. That's why they're so good and able to create beautiful things. So because sometimes designer, you know, we create something like that is in our mind, and people look at it, oh, how it's gonna be possible? Don't worry, we someone like those people, they know how to make them reality, which is really good.
That is, your story is incredible, because you're not only based on your passion, but on your heritage. So I feel like the base is so strong. You started from small, and then you're still working with your family, with your sister and your brother.
Yeah, it's a family thing actually. So we are all involved. We all have the same passion. Our grandfather gave us like the base to do everything, to be honest. So he was not only able to draw, he was one of the guy who was like also shaping the wood. He teaches us like so many things that are incredible, that I'm super proud, and I feel like super lucky, because it's not common, to be honest. So.
And what is next for Supernova Design?
Who knows? To conquer the world.
Yacht by yacht.
Exactly.
To conquer the ocean.
Exactly. Right. Exactly. Yeah, we're working on something else, like something new at the moment, and I will let you know as soon as we'll be ready.
Thank you.
Super interesting.
Now, would you give me a tour of this?
Sure, with pleasure.
Okay.
Let's go.
Raised in Monaco and shaped by a legacy of Italian craftsmanship, Giulia learned early that design is all about intuition, identity, and the quiet power of interpretation. Thanks for joining us today in YACHTLLYWOOD, the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe for more exciting episodes with incredible guests. Until next time.